Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lorcana Lounge. Um, Inklands has dropped, and it's awesome. It's tons of fun. We're running a little bit late, but here we are with the Amethyst review. Card number one. We're looking at, well, technically 35. Not number one. Number one of, yeah. Anyway,
Amethyst.
number 35. We're looking at Alice. She is inkable. She's a 6 cost. She hits for 4. She defends for 4. Curiouser and Curiouser. Exert 2. Exert chosen opposing character and all other opposing characters with the same name. That's pretty dope. Quest for 2 lore. She's a super rare. She could kill some puppies.
She could kill some puppies real bad. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's tap to exert chosen opposing character and all other opposing characters with the same name. Can't use her the turn she comes in, so she's not gonna save you at the last minute, but she will be good if obviously if they have 99 puppies on the board, you could tap them all. But the problem is that your opponent's probably not going to have all of them untapped, so you're probably only going to really be tapping one, because she's also on the board, so they're not going to leave a bunch up for you to tap. But it's just one more way to deal with ready characters. Need more ways to deal with ready characters, so I'll take it.
Cool. Alright, let's move on to card 36.
36. Chernobog's Followers, Creatures of Evil. It's a 1-cost inkable, 2 strength, 1 willpower. That quests for 1. It's an uncommon that says whenever this character quests, you may banish them to draw a card. I like this. Obviously, as a 2/1, it's not going to be necessarily hitting for too much, but usually you can predict that you're about to lose a character. They're probably going to punch that next turn and you're going to lose it. And this allows you to get the benefit of drawing a card off of that. I like it.
1 ink for a lore and a card.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so bad. And even if you get it out on turn 1, your opponent can't do anything with it on turn 2 or 3, you might be able to get 2 lore for it. Yeah.
Keep it
cool.
on the board.
Yeah.
Alright.
Not going to win you a game, but it can keep going.
It could help.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo, the Faithful Pet. 1 drop, inkable. Hits for 2. Defense for 1. Looking for Aurora. Whenever you play a character named Maleficent, you may look at the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. Quest for 1 lore, and it's a common. If you're running a villains deck, this would be pretty good in it, especially if you have a lot of Maleficent. I know there's quite a few colors of Maleficents now, so could pair with quite a few things. But other than that, not that useful, honestly.
Yeah.
Not a bad card, though.
Yeah. It's a very situational scry. 2 on 1 cost. I mean, we just saw Chernobog's Followers, which were the same 2/1 for 1. I think I'd rather have Chernobog's. You're right. If you've got a lot of Maleficents in the deck, and you could pull that off with some regularity, maybe it's good.
Yep.
But it's all right.
Yeah. 38.
38. Genie, Supportive Friend. It is a 4-cost, not inkable, 3/5 that says whenever this character quests, you may shuffle this card into your deck to draw 3 cards when he quests for 1. And Genie's a super rare. This Genie's a super rare. Drawing 3 cards is a lot. That's a lot of cards to draw. You lose a character 4-drop, a 4-cost character, you lose at that. But there's absolutely times where I would love to have this card. And by turn 4, your hand count is usually getting pretty low. If you get them out on turn 4, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
With the 3/5, you may be able to attack one turn, then quest the next, and kill something. Still get to quest the next turn and draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
I'll shuffle them in my deck all day long for that.
Yeah, I mean, you got a chance of coming right back, too.
Yeah.
Possibility.
For sure.
I like it. That's a good super rare.
Yeah.
39. Hydros, the Ice Titan. He is a 3-cost inkable. He hits for 2. He defends for 2. Exert 2. Exert chosen character. And he quests for 2. That's pretty cheap to be able to tap somebody and hit them with somebody else. Obviously, wouldn't be able to hit him with him.
Yeah.
And he's only a 2/2. But
yeah, I think ignoring the text, 3-cost 2/2 questing for 2 isn't great. It's not bad though. Questing for 2, that's can be pretty decent. He's only got 2 power, 2 toughness. You get the upside of the tap. I'm trying to think if what are some other cards that are around 2/2 questing for 2. But none are coming right to mind. So, but I would, I like the 2 lore. I think if he was only 1 lore, it wouldn't be worth it. But with 2 lore, he's got enough value even when he's not using the exert chosen character ability, that to be valuable. You can still make it work. So it's okay. I don't know that I'll play him a lot, but I could see places
could be
for
useful.
him.
Yeah. Number 40.
Number 40, Iago Pretty Polly. It is a 3-cost inkable, 3/2, with evasive, quest for 1, and is a common. Evasives are always, really difficult to deal with. I prefer the evasives with 2 lore. They're much higher priority to deal with. Although Iago, this card is probably intended to deal with those cards, not necessarily to be questing, but to be able to punch into the Peter Pans and other evasive cards that are out there. Apparently I need to be doing more research, because I'd be curious to see what, if there are many evasives. I can think of a couple that he's not going to kill, but I bet he's going to kill the vast majority of evasives, or very nearly kill them at least.
A lot of them are 1/3s.
What's that?
A lot of them are 1/3s.
Yeah. So he's going to be able to at least take out 1, maybe take out a second if they are a 1/3. I for common, that's pretty handy. I could see having a couple of in a deck, a couple of Iagos, maybe 2 of, maybe 3, just to have in those instances when you need to take out an evasive, and the games where you don't have to deal with any extra evasives, you just ink him. He's an inkable. He can deal with those evasive cards. Definitely has a place.
Yeah, I can see it being used.
Yeah.
Number 41, Jafar the Lamp Thief. He 3-cost, inkable, hits for 2, defends for 2. I am your master now. When you play this character, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put 1 on the top of your deck. Put the other on the bottom. Quest for 2. And he's uncommon. It's not bad. He's not evasive, but he's the exact same as Iago, but he quests for 2.
He is...
And he has an effect.
The exact same as Hydros. 3-cost 2/2 for 2 lore. Just a couple cards ago.
Oh, yeah. Just different effect.
Different effect,
That's
obviously.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like these effects where you can look at the top card of your deck and make some decisions, or look at the top 2 cards and pick your favorite one to keep. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. I think it's more in there for the next card we're going to look at,
which is
also Jafar, Striking Illusionist. First legendary of Amethyst for Into the Inklands. It's a 7-cost inkable. That's a 4/5. with Shift 5, and then Evasive with the ability of turning during your turn while this character is exerted. Whenever you draw a card, gain a lore. Like I said, it's a legendary questing for 1. I like this. There's a lot of draw mechanics in Amethyst. I mean, there were in the last set. We've already come across Genie, which allows you to draw 3 cards. Obviously, it's not difficult to get a character exerted on your turn. Plenty of ways to do that. That's kind of the whole mechanic of the game. So, I like this a lot. It's another one of those sneaky ways where you can shift in a Jafar, quest him, and then draw 3 cards and win the game. You can do some pretty crazy things like that. I like that. In a purple steel deck, whole new world, this is going to be pretty insane. Sing with Jafar to draw 7 cards and gain 7 lore. That seems busted, frankly. That seems busted. But it'll be fun. It's going to be a really interesting mechanic to have to think about as a player. I think if you are playing into a purple steel deck, you're going to have to deal with, it's so crazy to imagine on turn 5 shifting in a Jafar and getting 7 lore in 1 turn by then singing with that same Jafar. Oh, a whole new world.
It's a big slap in 1 turn.
I can't wait to do it. That's all I can say. I can't wait to do it.
I can't wait to do it to you.
Gonna have to put in some answers to keep the Jafars off the board as soon as you get them down, because that's brutal.
Artwork is sick.
Yes.
Giant purple snakes. That's awesome. The Enchanted looks dope too. Everything I'm reading, a lot of people are saying this is the number 1 card of Inklands. It's up for debate. I could see that. I mean, it's one of those. It's pretty versatile. There's a lot of use for it. This set seems like they added a lot of villains. This may be the first time that we've been able to really make a viable villain deck using some of the villain mechanics. There's not a ton of villain mechanics out there, but there's at least enough characters now to use the villain mechanics. So I think so. Yeah.
It's
gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to pull off some combos.
I only had 2 of him so far. I gotta keep working on that.
Yep.
Number 43 is Lena Saberwing, the rebellious teenager. All these ducks and their crazy names. I like them. Anyway, she's a 2-cost. She's inkable. She hits for 1. She defends for 3, and she has rush. Not the most useful thing for rush with 1 attack.
Yeah,
but
it was almost exactly my thought. I can't think of very many instances where I'm thinking, man, I really wish I could rush out a one power character here. Although it would be nice for the Lilos and Maleficent's 1-drop 1/1s with 2 lore that, if you don't have an answer on turn 1, you're on the draw. Man, that feels real bad to have your opponent up 4 lore that fast.
But she's a 2-drop, so still 1 turn safe at least.
Yeah, so your opponent plays a Lilo on turn 1. You play an Ink on turn 1, don't have anything to play against the Lilo. They quest once with Lilo, and then you can surprise them with the Saberwing.
It's better than 4, but still.
It's better than you're still down 2. But you also got it off the board. You're not going to run into the combo that I was having a lot of fun with last set, where you play a Maleficent, you quest a time or 2, then you Madam Mim it back to hand, and quest play it again. You can kind of sneak attack it. But I will need to see, maybe with the location cards out now, having an aggressive deck is a little bit more viable, where you can try to race, quest really quick early on while your opponent's trying to play locations, which is going to be a much slower play style. And this is going to be an answer to those rush decks, those like really aggressive questing decks. I don't know. Like I said,
It's interesting.
not too often that I've wanted a 1-power rush character, but I can at least make up some scenarios in my head that would be viable for it.
Yeah, I'll take it if I got it, I guess.
Yeah.
44.
44. It's the first Magic Broom Dancing Duster. It's a 6-cost uninkable. This is a 6-cost broom. It is a 3/3 that quests for 1 and says, when you play this character, if you have a sorcerer character in play, you may exert chosen opposing character. They can't ready at the start of their next turn, and is an uncommon. We've got a lot more. Oh man, my brain just shut off. We got a lot more brooms this time. We now, making that broom deck quite a bit more viable. There were at least 3 new brooms this set, and with assuming you have Mickey Mouse out, the Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer from the first chapter, you could play this for 5 because you get it out for 1 less ink. I don't know. 6 cost still seems like an awful lot for that. You become very reliant on having that Mickey out. It's a pretty niche card, right? You have to have that Mickey to make this viable. I don't know. I want to make a brooms deck. I think it'll be fun. This will probably be in the deck. It's probably not going to be a 4 of. I just think we have enough brooms now that I don't need 4 of these to make it a good deck. So, yeah.
There are actually a ton of sorcerers. In Amethyst alone.
The last 3 cards we just reviewed were all sorcerers.
Yeah. The Jafars, the Mickeys, the Elsas, Maleficents, Rafiki, Ursula, Yzma, Arthur, more Elsas, all the Madame Mims, all the Merlins,
Yeah,
more Yzma, Winnie the Pooh.
I'm not excited to play a 5-cost 3/3 that exerts a character. Never mind a
No.
6-cost.
That was I wasn't sure how many sorcerers there were to actually do that kind of thing. That is in no way a defense of this card because I think it's too expensive for what it is.
Okay.
Regardless of how many sorcerers there are.
Yeah, there's
I
a
was
lot
just
of
curious.
I guess that's to be, and be clear the way I phrase that. It does not only work with the Mickey sorcerer. It does work with any sorcerer. It's obviously designed towards the Mickey sorcerer. But 6 costs is just too much for a 3/3, in my opinion.
And only 1 lore. That's I don't know.
Yeah,
Expensive.
its only real benefit is, and it's a when you play it thing. So it's a one and done. When you play it, you get to exert a chosen character. What is is it freeze? I think freeze is
deep freeze when they can't ready the next turn.
Yeah.
But that's 2 from Elsa.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Just not worth it.
Nope. 45.
45.
Another Magic Broom. Swift Cleaner. A little bit cheaper. He's a 5-cost. Uninkable. It's a 5-cost. It's a 5-cost. Uninkable. This one is 4/4. Quest for 2. It has Rush. When you play this character, you may shuffle all broom cards from your discard into your deck. I'll take that one.
I'll take that one. Heck yeah. 4/4 with 2 lore. This is feels to me better in every way. It costs less. It's got more power. It quests for more. It has Rush, and generally, getting cards out of your discard is back in your deck is not a bad thing. I don't think if this is in your deck, you're probably playing a brooms deck. So getting the brooms back in your deck. I'm trying to think. I don't know of. There's not too much right now that allows you to pull cards from your discard, like to pull them back in your hand or something like that, where you would want to have the card in the discard. by putting it
Yeah,
into
not much.
your deck, you get to shuffle it back and draw them again. Yeah, like this is just better in every way, and is only a common
Every way.
instead of an uncommon. So
Much better.
Yep.
46.
46. Another magic broom. This is the big sweeper. 3 cost, 1/5. Quest for 1 and says while this character is at a location, it gets +2 attack, and then it is a common. Yeah, I like it. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the purple locations yet. Although the set has come out, I haven't. This is really my first time critically analyzing the cards, or really like trying to absorb them. I'm trying to picture. I think a 4 cost for a 3/5 that quest for 1. I think that's pretty good value. So if you can move it to a location for 1, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Take out a
5
few
is
people.
Yeah, and 5 is such a large booty, right? That's hard to deal with. Again, this is really geared toward your broom decks. I don't see this going in much more, but you can also get a 1/5 for 2 with the Wayward Sorcerer, the Mickey.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get the combo, it's awesome, right? That's just the way those combos are. If you don't have the combo, it's all pretty lackluster. But holy cow, that makes that last card that much better. He got a 4 cost.
Yeah, he's a 4-drop.
Rush. That's insane. Yeah. It's all right.
47. The Magic Carpet. Flying Rug. 2 cost. Inkable. Hits for 2. Defense for 1. It's evasive. It can find the way. Exert to move a character of yours to a location for free. I mean, move all your characters for free. Just takes 1 per turn. He's evasive. Unlikely to get hit quickly.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 2 cost.
2 cost, 2/1. Questing for 1. Just looking at that with evasive is meh. Yeah, it's okay. The move of characters for free is tough to value yet. I know there's a location that I haven't. I don't know which one it is. Frankly, I don't even know what color it is. But there is a location that has like it costs 3 to move there, but while you have a character there, it costs 2 less or something like that to move a character.
RLS Legacy.
What is it?
RLS Legacy. It's red.
Okay. So, like,
Ruby.
this is a nice way to avoid that first character move penalty. You can use this to move a character there for free, and then you only have to pay 1 to move your other characters there. Again, I don't know the card. I'm assuming with a cost like that, there must be some pretty good value of being at the location. Either, I know some of the locations are giving, like, evasive or unchallenged. Characters here can't be challenged.
I think that's the one that's evasive.
So, I mean, we'll see when we get there. So there's definitely a place for this. I think without that, like this is only going to go in a location deck though, which I don't think is a surprise. I think that's the way it's designed. But if you've got some of those cards in there in your deck, or the cards that just cost more to move, 100%, a lot of value there.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you're using your locations, it's going to be a super useful card. If not so much.
Yeah.
48.
Another 2-drop. This is Magicka Dispel, Ambitious Witch. It's a 2/3, 2 cost inkable, quest for 1, vanilla. It's a common. There's nothing to talk about other than the next card that's coming up. This is a 2/3
because
that
it
costs
shifts
2.
into
That can shift into this one. Go for it.
Magicka Dispel, the Midas Touch. She's a 7-drop, uninkable, hits for 4, defense for 6. She's shift 5, and all mine. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the cost of 1 of your items in play. She's super rare. She quests for nothing if you don't have any items. But this paired with the what is it?
Lucky
Scrooge's
Dime.
dime,
Lucky Dime.
Lucky dime. Yep.
Yep.
The blue one. That's gonna be. I mean, she's on par with Jafar, getting 7 lore.
Yeah, Lucky Dime is a 7-cost item, that legendary item that we'll talk about in blue. Yeah, she goes into your item deck. 7 cost for 6. She needs to be questing for quite a bit to, I think, really get some value. I don't know. I believe that the Lucky Dime is the most expensive item that's out there so far.
Probably.
Quickly scrolling through, there's a couple 4-cost items out there. There's maybe 1 in every color. It looks like maybe 1 or 2 in every color. Otherwise, 4 is the most expensive cost. Looks like, yeah. So quickly scrolling through, yeah. So I think this is going to have to go into a very item-heavy deck to make her very valuable, but it's definitely one of those you can pull off some really fun, crazy combos if you get there. If you can get there, it's a lot of fun.
It would be pretty sick. You got to pay 7 to get her on. Well, 5 to get her on the board. 7 to get Lucky Dime on the board. It's an expensive move, but damn, it would pay off.
Yeah, unfortunately, with her being uninkable, like, this is definitely a really late game card. You need to have big items in play. You want to shift her in and like sneak in an extra 4 lore, 3 or 4 lore at least, maybe 7 lore if you've got the Lucky Dime out. It's really unfortunate that she's uninkable, because if she was inkable, it'd be great, right? Anytime you get her early on, you just go, yep, gonna ink it. So
otherwise, you're just sitting on it.
Yeah, otherwise it's just stuck in
praying
your hand.
You get that combo.
Yeah, it's stuck in your hand while you're searching for the combo. But that's okay. It's, I think, in an item deck, probably a blue-purple item deck, it could be a lot of fun. You'd have the Lucky Dime. You'd also have Fishbone Quill, probably, so you could ink her if you needed to in the kind of early mid game. And that's the deck you're gonna put this in. It's never gonna go anywhere else.
It's pointless to,
but it's one of those, I don't have any interest in playing a deck or putting this in a deck. But I'm gonna be really salty when somebody quests on me for 7. Brandon.
Number 50. What do you mean? I don't like item decks.
Yeah. It's another Magica Dispel. This is Thieving Sorceress. She is a 4-cost inkable. It's a 3 power, 4 toughness character with Exert in order to return a chosen item with cost equal to or less than this character's attack to its player's hand. She quests for 2 and is an uncommon. This is usually going to be a return a 3-cost item or less to its player's hand. Usually good, right? There's obviously ways you can increase the power. Although we just looked, you would rarely need to get it up to a 4. Most items are 3 or less. So
it's just a 1 for 7. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the 1 for 7, and then every color has 1, maybe 2 for 4. This could go into more decks. Like this card you could use to just help you deal with those really annoying. Is it Mickey Mouse armor? I think that's cheap enough that she could bounce that.
Yeah, mouse armor's 2.
Yeah, so yeah, you got mouse armor that you could bounce. You've got some of the new cards would bounce. Fishbone Quill, you could really punish your opponent if they're trying to ramp hard. So this is one that I could see getting some play. I like these types of cards that are not just break, where it's a one-trick pony. This, even without her text, she's still a 3/4 that quests for 2. That still has value. If you can sometimes bounce an item, bounce one of your opponent's items, that's just pure upside, and I'll take it.
You can also bounce your items. Doesn't have to be an opponent's. I don't know why that would be useful, but you can.
True. I guess you could bounce like a popsicle to let you play it and draw a card, or you can also trigger things like the Maurice that allows you to pay an extra one to draw a card when you play an item. So you could like use her to bounce
That's
a
true,
popsicle,
yeah.
play popsicle, draw a card, pay an extra one with Maurice to draw another card, and you like create another draw engine. Hadn't considered that, but true. Your own items are targetable with this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that working out, I guess. All right, 51. This is Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil, our second legendary of Amethyst.
This is the
She's
first legendary of this set you've got to call.
That's true.
Take it away.
You did the other two.
3.
3, right. The other two, that last video is what I meant.
Yeah.
She's a 5-drop. She's inkable. She's the Mistress of All Evil. She hits for 2. She defends for 3. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card. And during your turn, whenever you draw a card, you may move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. That's really strong. The fact, I mean, her and Jafar are gonna go nuts. You need to have some kind of crazy thing in there that's getting damaged all the time, attacking people but not dying. And then,
Or your opponent, you can move this from one opponent's character to another opposing character. Doesn't have to be one of your characters.
yeah,
So you could just move damage around if you want to consolidate damage on your opponent's side or whatever.
fake somebody out and not kill them, get them halfway dead, and then move it over and be like, ah!
Well, I'm thinking of, attack that 1/5 and then move it to the 5/1, right?
Yeah.
So you can do some stuff like that. So moving damage is a new mechanic for this set. So it's kind of moving damage does not count as healing the character you move it away from or damaging the character you move the damage to. So if you have anything that triggers when healed or when damaged, moving damage doesn't trigger those. 5 cost for a 2/3 is obviously steep. But she quests for 2. When you quest for 2, you draw a card. When you draw a card, you move damage. There's an obvious reason she costs 5.
Right.
And is only a 2/3. If you can protect her and even just quest twice, draw 2 cards, move a little damage around, even just that is enough value to make this card very good. That's probably why they made it a legendary.
Yeah.
If I had to just take a wild guess.
If you just put this in a draw engine deck with Jafar, that's going to go nuts.
Yeah.
Between the two. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, this... they are really setting it up for purple-blue to be a pretty nutty combo, because you've got all the card draw from purple. You have the crazy card draw engine that was Popsicle with Hiram Flaversham and Nick Wilde last set. Now you're drawing a ton of cards. It's going to be insane.
Deck building is about to get nuts.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if, like, those cards are all very valuable. I'm curious, all valuable in helping you draw cards and trigger some crazy mechanics. I guess the Jafar is going to be your win condition to get a bunch of lore again. I don't know. It'll be... I would really need to... I'm sure people who are a lot smarter than I am are going to make some really wild decks around this.
It'll be fun.
I can't wait.
52.
52. Mama Odie, Voice of Wisdom. She's a 6 cost uninkable that has attack for 3 and 6 toughness, and then quests for 2. And then says, whenever this character quests, you may move up to 2 damage counters from one chosen character to chosen opposing character. And she's an uncommon. So, stats again quickly. cost 6 for a 3/6 questing for 2. Let you move 2 damage. I like this. I like the move mechanic. I like moving damage mechanic. It's a good way that you can deal with some of the, like a ready character, or if they play a character and it's ready, you can move damage to them. And you don't have to have a different card in your hand.
Evasives.
You can also evasives too. I had Mama Odie in my deck for the draft tournament, and she worked out well. I don't know if I've not played enough to know necessarily if that was good and just lucky or not. But it was fun, and it was really nice to be able to deal with those ready characters when they were getting pretty up there in lore, and being able to just make sure they didn't, and obviously questing for 2 and then killing something still, and yeah, it's good.
53. Pua. Another adorable card from this set. The pot-bellied buddy. He is 2 cost. He's inkable. He hits for 2. He defends for 2. He quests for 2. When this character is banished, you may shuffle this card into your deck. Kind of like Hey. Doesn't go back to your hand. Goes back into your deck. But he quests for an extra 1. It's usable.
Yeah, I think the 2 cost, ignoring the card text, 2 cost, 2/2, questing for 2, that's enough value for me to put it in a deck.
Yeah.
I can definitely find ways to make good use of it, I think. But I can also find a lot of reasons why, like, cards I'd put in place of it. So, I just may put this one in because I like the way it looks better than some of the other cards.
It was pretty adorable.
Yep.
54.
54. Rafiki, Mystical Fighter. 1 cost inkable, 0/2, quest for 1, but has Challenger 3, and whenever he challenges a hyena character, this character takes no damage from the challenge. And Rafiki is a rare. Frankly, this is weird. I think there's only the one hyena, right? We looked that up.
Yeah, we
last weekend.
talked about that the other day. There's only one.
Whenever he challenges a hyena, there's only one right now. He takes no damage. I guess it makes me curious what they're going to come out in the next set, but it's awful early to be curious about that. I'm still curious about what they have in the other 4 colors. So his text is kind of useless. He becomes a 0/2 that challenges at +3. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know that it's, in my opinion, I don't know that it's rare quality.
If he had Rush instead of his other effect, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be
a great card.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
I think it's
as it is, it's just not. I'm sure that there's some places that I could make use of it, but it's probably not going in most of my decks. I just don't see it coming into play a lot of the time. I'd rather have a different 1-drop.
Yeah. Much more useful.
Yeah.
All right, 55. Stratos, the Tornado Titan. He costs 5. He's inkable. He hits for 4. He defends for 4. He's evasive. You exert to gain lore equal to the number of Titan characters you have in play. He at least quests for 1.
Pretty much.
If you build a Titan deck, which is possible, it'd be an interesting play. He's pretty cool. I like the artwork too.
There are 4 Titans.
16 cards.
Yeah, can make up about a quarter of your deck.
You also got a new Hades that does something to the Titans. Readies the Titans or something.
I don't know that one.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's
in this
something.
set?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
you can just
He's
exert
not
him to ready your Titan characters. He's a steal.
Steel. Okay, that's what I thought.
What's weird is when I did the search, it didn't show up for some reason. Um,
Huh.
yeah, I'm not interested in a Titan deck. For me,
Not really.
a 5-cost 4/4 with evasive. If he's questing for 2 or more, he's awesome. A 4/4 evasive character that's questing for at least 2, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I think that's really good. So getting in that only requires 1 more Titan on the board. In a Titan deck, he's going to be good. In any other deck, I doubt he'll be in play.
Yeah, drop 2 of them.
I guess kind of the other caveat where I could find it being really useful is if the meta turns into something where there's a lot of evasive characters. I feel like during the first set, evasive was a lot of like there was evasive was a big threat, and that started to become a little bit of a meta because it was very difficult to deal with it. Over the last set and then this set, they've added a lot more answers to evasive. Not to say that it's easy to deal with, but it's not become a meta play where you just build an evasive deck. But even if you did, I don't think I would make purple my evasive deck. So, I don't know. Not much use to me.
Yeah. Build a Titan deck, he'd be cool. If not, meh.
Yeah.
56.
56. The Firebird, Force of Destruction. Awesome artwork.
Yes.
It is awesome. A 4-cost inkable. That is a 6/2. Questing for 1 is a common. It's gonna punch really hard. But is really susceptible to move 1 damage, move 2 damage, or fire the cannons even. Anything that does direct damage is gonna suck because it's a 6/2. But man, if you get to hit something, this can deal with almost all most threats that are out there. This can nearly single-handedly deal with all of them. So yeah, I it's a vanilla card. It has no other text. I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge. Depends on where the meta shifts. If there's a lot of these really big tanky characters out there, it'll become good. Otherwise, we're just not there right now. Although this would be good to deal with locations. This is going to punch locations off the board like crazy.
That's true, yeah.
Obviously, when you challenge a location, you don't take any counterattack damage. You don't ever get punched back. Anything that they run in to deal with it is going to die. It may be viable and valuable for that reason. Actually, I hadn't really thought about that.
I didn't even think about locations, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a couple that have 8 and 9, but most of them are 4 to 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6. So crazy. I mean, I think that'll be its primary use case is punching locations.
Location killer.
Yep. I guess it's inkable. If you don't want to punch a location, throw it in the inkwell.
It's true. 57, we got the Queen. She's a hateful rival. She costs 3. She's inkable. She quests she hits for 4. She defends for 3. She quests for 1. She's a vanilla card. Pretty decent for a 3-drop. 4 attack, not bad. 3 defense is better than 2.
Very observant.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at numbers. Other than that, it's a pretty basic card. You got anything on this one?
No, I think 4/3 for 3 cost is a little too underwhelming. There's also no shifts for her that are of value. The only shift is the 5 cost that shifts in at 2. I don't know. I don't think it's got. I don't think it's that great.
There's other cards that could be used.
Yeah.
58.
58. Treasure Guardian, Protector of the Cave. It is a 4-cost uninkable 6/6 that quests for 2 and says this character can't challenge or quest unless it's at a location. It's an interesting one. I think it'll be so 6/6 is big. That is big.
Yep.
That's gonna be a real problem to deal with. But the issue is you don't have to deal with him. You can deal with a location instead. And the fact that locations don't punch back when you hit them mean that, I'm never going to run into the 6 power of this. You're always going to have to attack me, and I'm just going to try and take out your locations probably. It's my initial guess.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think in a very location-heavy deck, you can do stuff with it, but the fact that we don't have a good way to protect our locations, because obviously Bodyguard does not protect against a location.
Right.
Man, if we had a way to protect a location, holy crap, this would be nuts.
It would be, yeah.
Without that, he's okay, and there's definitely places where I'd put him, but he's just okay.
If he was inkable, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Inkable would be good. That'd be a big improvement.
Yeah, if I had a big location deck, that he would be in there. But other than that, he's just okay.
Yeah.
59. This is Ursula, the Sea Witch. She's a rare. She costs 3. She's uninkable. She hits for 3. She defends for 3. She quests for 1. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't ready at the start of the next turn. Huh. Normally they have something that says like chosen opposing exerted character can't ready at the start of their next turn.
Yeah, but so you could, I guess in theory, you could target a non-exerted character, but
they'll already be ready.
They're already be ready, so there's no value there. I guess the order of operations is open, right? You could target somebody that's exerted and then exert them later. Aha, you never saw that coming. I like this 3 cost at a 3 cost. A 3/3 with that ability is decent.
Yeah.
It can be really frustrating playing into even just like a Jasper that says your character can't quest gets really frustrating sometimes.
So annoying.
So I like it. I like it. I think there's
Amethyst is going pretty hard on that not being able to ready.
Yeah.
That's gonna be annoying.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think this is good, and because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, even if they'd made her a 2/3 or a 3/2, not as valuable, but a 3/3 is a pretty decent stat line.
Still playable, yeah.
And yeah, I could see this going into a lot of decks. I think it's a pretty versatile card, right? So it's not reliant on any specific mechanic to make it good or make it valuable. It's best if you have a character to target with that ability. I guess if you take off the text, right, and they don't have a character that you can hit with it, a 3 cost 3/3 that's only questing for 1 is very mediocre, not very good, but
yeah.
Her ability is pretty strong, and I think does outplay it, or does outweigh it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Number 60.
Number 60. Our first action of this color of Amethyst. It is Bestow a Gift. It's a 1 cost action that is inkable and says move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. It's common. I like the effect. I don't think this gets a place in my deck because it's doesn't feel like it is going to be all that useful. I'll probably just pay attention to my games more often and be like, man, if only I could move that 1 damage, would it matter?
Right.
If it was move 2 damage, I would absolutely take it. Or if it was move 1 damage and draw a card, I would absolutely take it.
Yeah.
Just moving 1 damage from chosen character to chosen opposing character is just not enough for me. And I will happily, open mouth insert foot if we get into the set and this card is sick.
It's very possible, but I don't think so. I think you're right. If it had draw a card at the end, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
For a 1-drop, but it doesn't. So.
Yeah. Because this
61.
is like that requires there to be a damage on something you want to move it away from. Yeah, 2 situations.
Yeah. Another 1-drop, Inkable. It calls me. It's a song. Draw a card, then choose up to 3 cards from chosen opponent's discard and shuffle them into their deck. So realistically, this could just be draw a card.
Yeah. We were just talking about it. There's not much yet. I haven't come across much yet. I mean, I know there's like Do It Again that interacts with discards. I would need to think about what cards are in the set, like are in all the sets that are currently active, that allow you to like take character card from your discard. I think there was a couple in even in Amber where it was you could take a puppy out of your discard. I don't remember who it was. I think there was something that you could do. It was one of the puppies.
Perdita. Yeah.
So there's some value there now.
But this isn't your discard. This is your opponent's discard.
Well, right. So the value to this is you get to take it out of their discard so that they can't target their abilities. So if they have a Perdita in
I see what you're saying.
their deck,
Okay.
you can take their puppies and put it in their deck so they can't pick them back up. But there's just not very much that's doing that yet. You've got Perdita, you've got Do It Again for the green side, so you can take actions out of their discard. But we were just talking a couple cards ago about somebody, was it? I don't know who it was, but it allows you to take cards from your discard and put them back in your deck. It was you take all the brooms and put them back in, shuffle them into your deck. Generally that's a good thing. So, this largely becomes a 1-cost song to draw a card and maybe do stuff occasionally. Again, I don't quite think this is valuable enough for me.
Yeah, 1-drop for draw a card. It's not bad. I do feel like there's other things that I would put in instead of that, though. 62.
62. Action. It's a last-ditch effort. It is a 3-cost uninkable that has exert chosen opposing character. Then, chosen character of yours gains challenger +2 this turn. It's an uncommon. This is kind of similar to the steel card from the last set. What's it called? Charge? Is it Charge?
Yes.
Kind
of.
It's kind of a charge. It's like a combination of charge and pick a fight, maybe. Where you can pick a readied character and then hit it with +2. If this was inkable, it'd be really good. The fact that it's uninkable makes me a little bit hesitant on it, but I could see this still making the cut sometimes. I think this starts making the cut when you've lost a handful of games because your opponent plays a character and you don't have an answer to it, and they quest and win the next turn. When your opponent's getting high and they've got a couple readied characters, and you just need to be able to hit a readied character and you can't. That happens a couple times. You're going to start putting this in your deck, but I don't think it generally has the value. Usually that's, but like I said, when you've lost a couple games, you're going to start overvaluing this card, I think, and it's going to make the cut, but I don't think it generally should.
I could see it being a 2 of. Just for when you draw it, you kind of hold it in your hand for last ditch efforts. That's literally the name of the card.
Yeah.
Just realized that. So yeah, it's a perfect name. Also, every time I open this card in a pack, it blows my mind. The colors pop so well. I
It is a pretty
love
card.
the art. I love it very much. Ian McDonald, you did a fantastic job. Do more like that. That'd be dope. But yeah, I can see it being a 2 of. It does help in those sticky situations where you're about to lose. And they're not going to do anything because they know you can't do anything about it. Unless you have something like this. 63.
63. The boss is on a roll. It is a rare song that is 3-cost inkable that says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put any number of them on top or bottom of your deck in any order and gain a lore. This is interesting to me. The gain a lore is an interesting piece of it. I'm picturing myself going through their play testing, and they were like, this card's pretty good, but just not quite good enough, so they added gain a lore. I'd be curious in their balancing mindset where gain a lore lands on their tier of draw a card, force your opponent to discard a card, gain a lore, some of those type of little tags that you can start adding on to do stuff.
That's true.
3-song, easy to sing. You've got a lot of characters that could sing a 3-cost song if you wanted to do that. Looking 5 cards. 5 cards is a lot of cards to look at. The fact that you can then take, if you happen to pick up 5 cards and go, oh my gosh, they're all gold, you can put them all back on top, or you pick them up and you look at them and you go, oh my gosh, I don't want any of this. This is all garbage, and just throw them on the bottom. That's pretty good. The fact that you could sing this, do that, and then thin out the bad stuff off the top of your deck, and then we've already seen a lot of card draw in purple. It's had card draw in the last sets. It's got card draw in this set. The fact that you could just sing, do this, and then either sing another card draw or play a card draw and draw those cards you just looked at. I like this. I like it. Like I said, I'm a little bit leery of that gain 1 lore because it feels very much to me that they play tested it and it wasn't strong enough with the gain 1 lore in the actual play testing. But to me, it seems like it should be valuable enough without the gain 1 lore. The fact that you also get to gain a lore now is I'll take it. I'm not gonna say
It's
I
pretty
don't
awesome.
want it, right? So, yeah, this will definitely make the cut for me.
The other plus side is its 3-cost, which there's the new green Ursula that when you sing a song with her, you do the action, you put it in your discard, and then you re-sing that song from the discard. So you get to look at the top 10 cards of your deck, essentially, depending on how many you put back in there, and you get to gain 2 lore. That's a really good combination for this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
64. The lamp. It's an item. It costs 2. It's not inkable. Banish this item. If you have a character named Jafar in play, draw 2 cards. If you have a character named Genie in play, return chosen character with cost 4 or less to their player's hand. Legendary Jafar. Draw 2 cards. Gain 2 lore. Genie. Cost 4 or less. That's pretty good for a 2-drop. But you have to have those things in play. So
You do also have to have the Genie in play, yeah.
what was the cost of the Genie? 3?
It's a 4-cost Genie in this set.
It's a 4. Yeah.
There's obviously some
quite a
green
few
Genies
others.
in the last set. There's another blue Genie in this set.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I'm wondering if it's a typo that if you have a character named Genie in play, return chosen character with cost 4 or less to their player's hand. That's not a May. It's not
That's
you
true.
may return chosen character. So in theory, if you have
That's
Genie in
same
play,
with Jafar.
or if you have Jafar and Genie in play, and you don't have a choice, you have
Yeah.
to return something with cost 4 or less to your hand. The purple Genie is a 4 cost, so you could very easily, I don't know if it's accidentally or not, but you could very easily send him back to your hand.
Force yourself
yourself into that if you wanted to draw the 2 cards. I'm really curious if that's a typo, or if maybe this game is just not as restrictive as, or maybe not restrictive, but not as like clear cut as Magic is, or some other card games where they would very much define it. This game historically, I think, has been good with you mays. This does not say you may though. So
Yeah.
it also says
I
the
didn't
same thing.
think
It's
about
not you
that.
may draw. It is draw 2 cards. Generally speaking, you're going to draw the 2 cards.
Yeah.
But
This could cause you to deck out too.
yeah, I mean I think that's pretty uncommon. Like I said,
Highly
you're
unlikely.
generally going to want to draw those 2 cards, and if you're not wanting those effects, generally you're not going to banish the item. But I could absolutely see an instance where you have Jafar and Genie in play, and you want to pop this so you can draw 2 cards, but you don't want to pop this because it'll send your Genie back to your hand. Ideally, though, if you are playing with the Genie from this set, you just quest with the Genie, send them to your, shuffle them back into your deck, draw 3 cards, then pop the lamp and draw 2 more cards, assuming you don't have another target for the Genie. That's what this Genie's mechanic is. You send them back to your deck, shuffle them back to your deck, and draw 3 cards.
And then if you do have Jafar, you'd get 5 lore.
Yeah, and in that combination, you'd get 5 lore from that. So, I don't know. I if you have enough Jafars and Genies in the deck, it's obviously got value. Obviously, you control when you banish the card, so it's, you're not forced to do that at any time.
Right.
It's not like it's gonna force you to return the Genie to your hand. Just don't pop the lamp. It's okay. I definitely want to. I mean, this is absolutely going in that Jafar deck. There's enough draw crazy stuff. It's it's gonna be nuts. The card builders are gonna go
65.
crazy. Or the
It's
deck
going to be
builders.
nuts.
65. The Sorcerer's Hat. It is a 2-cost item that is rare. That says exert and pay 1 ink to name a card. Then reveal the top card of your deck. If it's the named card, put that card into your hand. Otherwise, put it on top of your deck. I am curious. I haven't seen necessarily what name a card means. So, for example, can I say the Queen, and then any of the cards that are the Queen I get to keep? Or do I have to specify that I am calling the Queen Hateful Rival, and then I only get to pull the Queen Hateful Rival? That's one way that would significantly change the value of this card. If I do get to be as generic as the Queen, the main name of the card for the characters, that can be really good. And then Purple has enough effects where they have that scry mechanic where you can look at the top couple cards of your deck or somehow find out what the top card of your deck is, and then you get to pay 1 to draw it effectively. That's good, right? I do think it is. I also am curious. I'm based off of the way this is worded. This wouldn't trigger the Jafars and draw effects of the game because it is name a card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, not draw the card. It's not reveal the card, put it back on top of your deck. If it was revealed, draw the card. It's which I don't know. That'd be weird to phrase, but based on phrasing, it doesn't trigger that ability.
Well, I was trying to look and see in the Lurkana app if that was a thing that's been answered yet, and I don't see it.
Which part of it? The first part of it, the Queen question.
Yeah.
Queen, Jafar. I think that'll be, like I said, obviously this can work in a lot of different situations, but if it does work that way, where you can just say Elsa and then any Elsa you reveal, you get to keep. There's enough of those that like that can get pretty nice, right? You got Jafar's, Elsa's, Maleficent's, puppies. Obviously, you can do the 99 puppy deck and throw this in there and just get to draw a puppy for free a lot of the time, or not for free, but for 1 ink. It's okay. I like it. I try it. Not in every deck, but if you've got enough scry in the deck to look at the top of your card, scry in your deck to look at the top card of your deck.
Yeah,
good.
Make it help.
Yeah.
66. We got the Forbidden Mountain, our first location of Amethyst. It costs 2. It's inkable. You move for 1. 6 defense. Quest for 1. It's a common. It's just a location. It's pretty beefy. 6 defense. It's pretty good.
I don't think I mentioned this before, but I really do not like the fact that these are sideways. When you're playing, it is so difficult for me to not just like tip my head to the side when I'm trying to read it. And it's such an obvious tell that I've just drawn a location card. So I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I have the cards memorized and I don't have to tip my head on my side, or, just casually hold my hand sideways while I read what this card does because I forgot. I don't know why that was necessary, but oh well. I think most card games at some point end up doing this. Fine. Otherwise, locations are sick. I mean, they're a lot of fun to play with. This one specifically, vanilla, right? 1 move for 1. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah. So we'll get to a better one.
Let's get to a better one. This one's a rare one. It is a 4-cost inkable that is called the Queen's Castle Mirror Chamber. You move there for 1. It has 7 defense, has 2 lore, and then says, at the start of your turn, for each character you have here, you may draw a card. I'm really glad they put this in Amethyst because we needed more draw in Amethyst. So I like it. 7 toughness is pretty good. That's going to stick around for a little bit. Very, very few things can hit that and one-shot it. So, and obviously draw a card. This may only be, this likely, frankly, will only be on your board through the start of one of your turns. So, the big thing is you're going to need to, when you play it, move characters here. Ideally, you can move 2. That means you're not playing this until turn 6. But I say that, this is the quote-unquote issue with the locations. What makes them so hard to value still for me is that even if I play it early on, like if I play it on turn 4, it's much more likely to be able to stick on the board because it's going to be more difficult for them to take out a 7 health location in 1 turn. But man, they could probably take it out in 2, and it's going to be targeted. It's getting you 2 lore every turn, and you're gonna get to draw cards off of it. I guess you could Magic Carpet something there for free. Magic Carpet only is a 2-drop, so you could play that, play something else, play this on 4 and move a character there, and then get to draw an extra card at the beginning of your 5th turn. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. Really.
I think it's going to get a lot of play. Based off of my view of the meta today, it'll get a lot of play. It'll make a lot of my decks when I start building some.
Any Amethyst deck, that's definitely going in mine.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the last card.
Last card of the set of the Amethyst.
Uncommon. The Sorcerer's Tower, Wondrous Workspace. Cost 3, sinkable. Another 7 defense. Cost 2 to move. Your character's name, Magic Broom, may move here for free. Characters get +1 lore while here. That, I mean, forget the Magic Broom part. That's whatever. But, damn, well, I don't know. That 4-drop Magic Broom, if you get the Mickey to make it a 3-drop, quest for 2. Now it quests for 3 because you moved it here for free.
Yeah, this is weird. God, these locations are still hard to value, right? So, your brooms are going to get to move for free. So this location is one of the seemingly few locations. I think this might be the first location we've come across where the location itself has 0 lore on it, but obviously gives every character +1 lore while here. I'm trying to think through. Obviously, this goes in all the Magic Broom decks. Every single one of them's running this.
Has to.
If you're not running a Broom deck, I don't think you play this. I think I would rather run no locations than this location. And there are other higher value locations than this one in my mind. Because you're going to have to pay 2 to move the character here, and you're going to pay 2, move the character here, get to quest for 1, and then once you have 1 or 2 characters here, your opponent's going to start punching this. Again, we don't have a way to protect locations. The games we haven't. I don't know if you've played any more than I have, Brandon, but in the few games that I've played, the way that the locations have played out is like either you flood the board with them and your opponent can't keep up with it, or if your opponent is able to get some characters down and you've been spending your time playing locations, as soon as they kill your locations, you now have nothing on the board, and your opponent still has a board because the locations don't punch back.
Right.
I just don't think this gets any play except for a Broom deck.
It's a tricky balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right. I would rather have the Queen's whatever. 67.
I'd rather have either of the other two. I mean, either one of them I'd overvalue this one.
That's true. Yeah, the Queen's Castle. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the Queen's Castle or the Forbidden Mountain. Even though the 2 cost 1/6 with, if I have some cards that interact with being at locations, I'd rather have that.
That's true. Yeah.
So
that's Amethyst.
That's Amethyst. I'm looking forward to it. The draw in this set from Amethyst is insane. I think there are some really sick combos with Jafar and even the brooms. I know Ben, one of our buddies, is looking to make making a broom deck. I'm
really
going to try it. I definitely want to try a broom deck now. There's plenty of brooms to make it really valuable. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to going in. Frankly, I'm looking forward to going into Emerald because I still don't know what more than half the cards do in this set. So I say I'm really excited to build a Amethyst deck. I don't know what I'm pairing it with. I don't feel like I'm pairing it with Amber personally. I feel like Amber was really focused on the puppies.
Yeah.
I do like that Amethyst seems to be a bit more balanced. There's a lot of things kind of going on with it. So much of it's around card draw, and I love my card draw. So I'm excited. Final thoughts?
Yeah. Amethyst is, I don't think it's been my favorite. I guess it was when set 1 came out because it was the one with main draw. But this kind of gets me repumped for Amethyst, honestly.
Yeah. I think Amethyst has always been my favorite. Madam Mims were just, I loved the bounce.
Yeah.
I had that purple steel deck that I played that. I mean, I think I built that the first weekend I was in the set, and I barely even tweaked that deck throughout the whole set. I just loved it.
It works pretty well.
Yeah.
It works pretty well.
I built other decks, but I mean, that deck was always one I carried around with me, so.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
We're gonna try and make some more content a little quicker than this one. um, leave us some comments. Tell us your thoughts on the Amethyst cards. Tell us how excited you are for us to get to Emerald.
Tell us any card recalls that we got wrong, like the Prince does not have resist 2. That would have been good to identify when we did the Amber set, that the Prince
See, I
only
didn't
is
even hear
resist
you
once.
say that.
Yeah, that's what
But
I
yeah,
said.
he's resist
I
1.
was wrong. It's very wrong.
He quests for 2.
He does.
Uh,
Had that right. All right.
but yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. We'll hit Emerald soon. You guys have a good night.